What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you all the best settings in Fortnite Season 7 that are going to increase your FPS, lower your ping, and give you less lag. Now before I do get into the video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like in the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot to me if you guys could subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alrighty guys, so getting straight into the video, the first thing you want to go ahead and do is go into your settings, obviously, and then what you want to go ahead and do is basically just copy what I have. So starting in display, what you want to go ahead and do is look at your resolution, and I recommend putting it on 1920 by 1080. Alright, this does increase your FPS, and it definitely did for me, so I do recommend putting your resolution on that. And looking right below it at frame rate limit, this is basically going to cap your frame rate at whatever you choose. So let's just say you have a 144 hertz monitor. What you want to go ahead and do is put that one above it at 160. Alright, or you can go ahead and basically just test out different FPS cap limits or frame rate limits. You can go ahead and test that out in creative or in a match, and basically whenever your FPS is inconsistent, you want to go ahead and cap it at that FPS or one below it. It basically does depend on what monitor you have and how well your PC runs or whatever you are using, and yeah, that's basically it for frame rate limit. So getting into the graphics settings, at brightness and user interface contrast, you can just go ahead and leave that at what you have. You can change your brightness depending on what monitor you have, but basically these ones aren't really important. They're not going to help your FPS or anything like that. Looking at colorblind mode, I highly recommend you do leave it on off. Having colorblind mode can decrease your FPS because obviously you're using extra settings, so I do recommend just keeping it on off. Pro players don't really use colorblind mode, and yeah, you really don't need it for anything unless you just want to see in the storm better, which it doesn't really give you that big of an advantage, so I do recommend just keeping your colorblind mode off. And then getting into the settings down here, as you can see, you may be wondering, why do you have a bunch of settings grayed out? You know, why can't you change these or anything like that? And that is basically because of rendering mode. I have my rendering mode on performance, and I highly recommend you guys change it to that. It's most likely going to automatically be on Direct 11. And personally, performance literally fixed my FPS issues I was having before. I could literally only get 140, 150 FPS, and that I couldn't get anything higher than that. And as soon as I switched to performance mode, I could literally get over 200, over 300 FPS. And yeah, performance mode really did fix my FPS. It made it so much better, and yeah, I highly recommend you use performance mode. If you don't want to use it, I recommend just putting all the settings you can basically change. Basically all the settings that are grayed out on mine, you can just go ahead and turn those all on off or low. And I highly recommend anyone playing Fortnite should use performance mode. And getting into the settings that aren't grayed out, basically, so just looking at view distance, I recommend putting this on near or medium. I recommend keeping it on near or medium, and that is basically the best for FPS. Alright, taking a look at textures, I recommend keeping it on medium or high. If you have it on low, you're gonna have bad textures. So personally, I do keep mine on medium. High doesn't really work that well for me, so I do recommend you just keep it on medium or high, or if you just don't care about textures, you can go ahead and put it on low. Another thing that is also personal preference is meshes. Alright, now if you really do want to increase your FPS by a lot, I do recommend putting it on low. Now the only issue with putting meshes on low, you're going to get Fortnite mobile builds, alright? And mobile builds, in my opinion, are super ugly. So personally, I do keep meshes on high. But if you don't really mind what your builds look like and you're fine with mobile builds, you can go ahead and put that on low if you don't care. But personally, I do like regular builds. I think they look so much nicer and cleaner, so I just go ahead and keep that on high. And then getting into VSync, I do recommend turning this off if you want higher FPS. It literally says it right here. Disabling VSync can give higher frame rate and better input response. It literally says it right there, alright? So I do recommend turning VSync off. Show FPS, that one really doesn't matter. If you want FPS on, turn it on. If you don't, you don't. And yeah, that's basically it for show FPS. And I already went over rendering modes, so yeah, we're basically done with all of these settings. So next thing you want to go ahead and check is basically go to this gears icon right here and check your matchmaking region. Alright, this has happened so many times to my friends and a bunch of people that do play Fortnite. Alright, they will be on the wrong server. So make sure you check which one has the least MS. So for me, NA East has the least MS, so I want to go ahead and be playing on NA East, or you can just put it on auto and it'll put you on the best server to give you the lowest ping. Now so many of my friends will literally have bad ping. They'll have their ping will literally be in the hundreds, and I'll say go ahead and check your servers. They'll check their servers and they're literally on Oceania or Middle East. Alright, double check your servers, make sure you're on the best one, and this will literally fix your ping. This is literally one of the biggest reasons why you have high ping, so definitely check over your servers and make sure you're on the right one. And finally, let's go ahead and scroll down to replays. Alright, turning off replays can definitely increase your PC and overall make your game run smoother. So if you don't want replays, you don't care about seeing them, you can go ahead and turn it off. And I also recommend deleting all replays you have if you go ahead and turn your replays off. But personally, I do like replays. I like seeing them, and I like seeing what happens in game. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my replays on. But obviously, it's up to you what you do want. And that is basically it for the settings portion of how to increase your FPS and get better ping. Now a few more tips to go ahead and help your game run smoother. I do recommend using wired keyboard and mice or a wired controller for better input delay, and it'll overall just make your game feel smoother when you're moving around and shooting and basically all that stuff. And finally, the last tip I'm going to give you guys is make sure you have all your applications closed in the background. When you do have applications open, like a searching browser or just other stuff open in the background, it is taking more usage of your PC or whatever you're playing on, more usage of your Xbox, etc. Taking more usage of your device to actually run Fortnite since you have other stuff open in the background, and it's definitely going to cause more lags. So definitely close out everything you have when you're playing Fortnite, and that is definitely going to help you increase your FPS and get better ping. And that's really all the tips I'm going to be giving you guys in this video. So thank you all so much for watching this video. And if this did help you, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I already said, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot to me if you guys could subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.